Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here. This is breaking news as of this morning. I'll add this into my full show preview, but I knocked out all the videos last night, and I knew that more than likely they were going to add a Divas match, but I thought maybe they had sort of scrapped the idea of the Ryback versus Bray Wyatt match, seeing how just it seemed like nobody honestly really cared about it. Now, I don't know, man. Ryback, if you go back to around Survivor Series when he made his return, he came back and he joined the Authority and then turned on the Authority and teamed up with Team Cena. Ryback was over. He seemed like he was right back where he was a few years ago when he was really going strong as a babyface, when he did the fill-in for John Cena, wrestled CM Punk at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. That was the end of his undefeated streak. But honestly, I thought that they would have kept, booking him strong. He would have been a nice, babyface to have backup, to always have sort of there as a guy that all the heels didn't really want to fuck with because this guy was big and this guy was bad. Then I think it all went south for Ryback around WrestleMania 29 when he lost his match to Mark Henry. From there, it just plummeted down. Of course, he had the main event against John Cena, but I think the writing was already on the wall that it wasn't so much that they had given up on the guy, they just didn't have any more ideas for what they were going to do with him. But the crowd loves Ryback. When CM Punk really put this guy through the ringer, and Ryback was able to tell his side of the story, and he went on the Chris Jericho podcast, and he told this story about reading his book, The Secret, not his book, but the book, The Secret, that was given to him by Luke Gallows, and that really gave him a new, way of life. He came back, and the crowd was really with this guy 100%. Ryback, always has his own fan section of fans cheering for this guy in his corner. I'm not really sure if I want to see this guy be WWE champion, but I like seeing this guy on television. I like seeing him fuck some guys up. Now, Bray Wyatt is a guy that's been a lost cause for a long time. I was listening to the Wrestling Observer yesterday, and they were talking about the reason why fans don't really care about Bray Wyatt is the fact that fans know that there's going to come a time when Bray Wyatt turns babyface. Fans want Bray Wyatt to turn babyface. So this ongoing, WWE pushing this guy as a heel just makes it to the point where the fans are just like, I'll care about this guy once he turns. Until that point, he's just going through a lot of things. He's just wasting a lot of time. Bray, he had the big match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I don't want to take anything away from that. I'm sure it was a milestone in his career to wrestle. It was a match that honestly I didn't care about. It was probably the one match on the card that I cared the least about more than anything else. But I'm sure for him to wrestle in the semi-main event, wrestling in the second to last match against The Undertaker, in which might be Undertaker's last WrestleMania match. Hell, might be Undertaker's last match total. He calls himself the new face of fear. I don't know how you can act like Undertaker passed the torch to him when Undertaker beat him. Undertaker killed the guy. The match was over. It was done. And after that, neither of these guys wrestled at Fastlane. No, I apologize, not Fastlane. Extreme Rules. Neither of these guys were on the card. But Bray Wyatt was running his mouth for well over a month now about this new guy that he was going to attack. And before Extreme Rules, Bray Wyatt was talking about his next opponent was going to be a guy that was a false idol. He was a guy that was going to have big muscles. And he was going to take down one of these WWE muscle freaks. I don't know. It just seems to me, honestly, like we don't have anything for Bray Wyatt to do. We don't have anything for Ryback to do. We only have 6 matches. We need another match. We need a time filler. Let's put those 2 guys out there and let's let them have a match. I don't really see anything really big coming out of this. Honestly, Ryback to me cooled off the most when he was fired. After the Authority came back, and then they brought him back right before the Royal Rumble. It sort of showed him that that WWE was booking by the seat of their pants. They didn't know what was going on. I'm sure it was nice for Rowan, Ziggler, and Ryback to get like a 3-week vacation, but having them not on TV for 3 weeks, having them not, show up at WWE, at Monday Night Raw or at SmackDown, they didn't have to be in the front row. They didn't have to pull like the NWO where they bought the front row ticket and came down there and sat down. They could have sat in a luxury box. They could have sat in just the cheap 100 seats. They could have done anything that would have been different to show that these guys, they love being WWE superstars. They love WWE. They love it so much, even though they were fired, they were showing up to the shows because they cared about what was going on and they didn't want the authority, raising havoc over WWE. And to show that they really wanted to have their jobs back. By the time they were brought back, when John Cena beat Seth Rollins, when Sting came down on Monday Night Raw and the deck was stacked against him, that was the match that they gave Ryback. Ziggler, and Rowan their jobs back. It seemed like they weren't even fighting to have their jobs back. The Authority, when they got their jobs back by Seth Rollins, by making John Cena say that they can come back, they came out of the back immediately. And these guys, we didn't see them until SmackDown. SmackDown they came out. I know that it wouldn't make a lot of sense for them to be just hanging out in the back and come walking out like the Authority did, but I don't know. It was a little bit different to me, but this is the match that's going to be going down at at Payback 2015. It's going to be Ryback going up against Bray Wyatt. It's a match that honestly, another one that I just don't really care about. It seems like the whole show is matches that I don't really care about, but in this one, I'll take Bray. Hopefully Bray wins.